I'm a homosexual. I mean, I like all the flavors. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what you have between your legs. If you're hot, you're hot. That's
True.
Yes, a lot of people usually want to see the scar.
You have a... Oh, unakuanga na
Can
scar kama
I
ya
show
CS?
it?
Una scar kama ya CS?
Yes.
I like
So,
scars.
a lot of people ask about the scar for the tubal ligation.
Is it big?
It's 4 centimeters long, but it reduces with time. There it is.
So it has been reducing?
Yeah. I feel like the work that I do, that's what I love about it, like to radicalize people. And even when people, like, even at home, when people try to pressure you about having a kid or having a family, especially when they know that you still haven't met the love of your life, yani the love of your life who will defend you even against them, you know.
Do you go to church?
No, I don't. I've never felt connected to the church for a long time. I only used to go because of the music.
Explain. How do you go to church because of me? Okay, go show.
Yeah, like the singing, especially if they do it with a band and they do it well. That's just what I liked about it. The rest...
So are you Christian or an atheist?
No, I practice African spirituality, altar work.
How do your parents feel about that? They don't know about it.
They were scared because I did, like, tell my mom that, her dead dad, Maikuka, told me that he's disappointed in her. And she took me to the psych ward.
You told your mom? You literally told your mom you're talking to her dead dad?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Nikki, and my name is Nicole Nyukabi. And kama kawaida, we are in Naiwave Studios. If you are looking for a place to shoot your podcast, if you're looking for studio space, if you're looking for videographers and photographers, we got you. Just call the number on the screen, DM us on all our social media platforms, and we will be there for you. Na pia kama wewe ni mzembe unapenda kushutia kwa nyumba, tutakuja kwenye huko. So call the number on the screen and get yourself the best videographers, photographers, and editor in the space. I'm in Kenya. Anyway, today on our show, we have a very lovely lady. Nataka introduce, and then I'll tell you what you're talking about today.
Hi, my name is Yvonne Minor, but everybody calls me Yvee.
Okay. So, Yvee, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm from Nyeri, like home. I actually relocated to Nairobi for work. I'm 27 years old, and I do sales and marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Anyway, so today on the studio, we're going to talk about options that women have for family planning, and specifically, we're going to be talking about tubal ligation. So tell us a little bit about tubal ligation before you tell us how you ended up getting one.
Okay, so tubal ligation is... Okay, should I like illustrate as well? Because these are also things that people need to know.
They do, by the way.
So tubal ligation is when... So tubal ligation is a permanent form of birth control for women.
Okay.
If you're sure that you do not want to have kids, and this is an option that you can go for. What happens is the doctor tells you to lie down on the table, on the, like, ni kama unaenda kuchinjwa.
It's major or minor?
It's minor.
Okay,
but you're going to be awake, so utapewa anesthesia. So you lie on the table like this, you lay flat, your legs are supposed to be closed, and then you're going to reveal where the doctors are going to cut. It's usually here, this line right here.
Okay.
So watakupatia like a couple of medications and injections to numb the pain so that you don't feel most of the pain. And then they will open you up, of course, because they have to get in. They'll grab one of the fallopian tubes And there's also a doctor who has a torch guiding the doctor to see it exactly where it is. You're supposed to make sure that you're breathing in and out as they grab the fallopian tube, and then they snip, and then they tie.
Okay.
And then they do on this other side. The doctor is looking for the fallopian tube. You keep your breathing steady, and then they snip, and then they tie, and then they close you up.
Okay.
Yes, that's how it happens.
So do you feel pain afterwards?
Yes, you feel pain. You feel pain during the procedure, but it's not supposed to be so much that you can't take it anymore. You know, because you still have to be in the same position. You're not supposed to move your legs up or jack them up, because it can be a hazard to you. So you should keep your composure as best as you can. And of course, the Maristop doctors are very good at what they do. So they are going to guide you through it. They are going to ensure that you're getting the emotional support to be as calm as possible and for the procedure to go accordingly.
Okay, so you have had the tubal ligation?
Yes, I have.
So what led you to that point? You newly decided I don't want to have kids and I want to have a tubal ligation.
I just never in my heart wanted to have kids. Like ever. Like maybe I had like a small teensy weensy part of me that wanted to be a girl mom, and that's it. But after, seeing the world that we live and experiencing the life of womanhood, we truly do go through a lot of violences in this world.
True.
This world is just not a place I'd bring children into. Yeah. So it's just best that, I enjoy my life, enjoy.
How do you get to a point where you realize ujaipata dile katama kutaka uone tu mtoto wako umeshika hivi, ujaifika hiyo point?
No, because even when I was younger and my cousins were having kids, I actually remember this one cousin who got a daughter, a baby girl. And me and my mom and the rest of the relatives, we went over to her house to celebrate about the kid. And this has literally happened to every baby that I've come across. Immediately, like my mom would be the one to tell me, like, no, just hold the baby a bit. Please just hold her a bit. And then I'd be like, and then when I hold, immediately I hear the baby starts crying like this. Just take them away. And kids are good because other people's kids are good because you can give them back to the owner.
But
yeah.
So when you decided to have the procedure, you talk to your parents and your family about it?
This is something I've always told my parents.
And they were okay with it? Ukuipata ile African judgment, you're like, apana, you're a girl, you're always supposed to be a mom. That is what you were brought into this world to do. You never got that?
Actually, it's their fault that they thought I was joking. But my word is my bond. I always say things. Mini wa kusema na kutenda. You understand? Even like when I wanted to get my ears expanded, like my grandma did, because she had her ears expanded.
Oh, I thought those were earrings.
No, they have a
Was that not painful? It looks painful.
It was just a teensy bit painful. I mean, not as painful as parenting a whole child and giving birth, but yeah, this is a great look.
Yeah, I thought the earrings looked like that. So
even when I wanted to get my ears expanded, I actually told the family group, like, I have screenshots. Daddy, this is what I want to do to my ears. They always think I'm joking. That's their fault for thinking women are stupid.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. A lot of people have, the way you're open about it, you talk about it has nobody ever come to you and hiyo ni childhood trauma ilifanya ufanye hivyo? You never get that kind of judgment?
Even if it's childhood trauma, and I know partly it is, it still doesn't change the fact that I don't want to unpack more trauma by having a child. Yeah, because children come with a lot. It comes with a lot of emotional, like, they need 200% of your effort. True. It's not a joke. That's another human being that needs you to put your best foot forward. And a lot of parents, they just get children because that's what we are meant to do. That's what's been done. So, of course, this is the path I'm going to take. And then they deliver almost nothing, and that's why we have many children out here on the internet, including me, because I am a former child, talking about being in a dysfunctional family, because it is not funny when you're in the ground. It is not funny.
True.
It really isn't. So, I took the child-free life because I have to. This life is for me to honor myself. This life is for me to fill my cup, because years and years has been spent trying to dig myself out of the hole of psychological and emotional trauma and financial trauma that my parents have given me, and even my siblings. It's not fair.
Okay.
So as a woman, I have to put myself first. So yeah, it's me all the way.
There's something you've said about childhood trauma. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in a dysfunctional family that really loved using financial abuse. I grew up in a very beautiful, beautiful home, mansion, great compound. My daddy had money, my mommy had money. But at the same time, you look around and it's like almost you're always reminded, these are not your things. Okay, we are just going to give you like just a bit of what you need
to sustain you.
Yeah, just kidogo hata haita kutosha vile, but you can handle the rest on your own. You just make sure you're surviving. That's enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't complain about that kind of childhood trauma. Wengine complaining nilichapwa, my parents were so strict, but you're complaining your parents were very rich and giving very little.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one way to put it.
Plus, they didn't care about my emotional well-being. Like, truly, they
were absent.
They were just out there, like, making the next bag, making sure that I have a better car than Baba Shiro. Which car did Baba Shiro buy? Hata mimi nataka NZD.
Anaenda ananunua. But they never took care of them.
Hizo vitu zingine, hiyo ni shida yako.
And your siblings?
Same, what's up? But
are they any of your siblings?
Of course, they are. I have 2 older brothers. But you know how the male upbringing is. You're a man. Why are you complaining about things? So they keep quiet until you're older. But it fucked them up, like I can tell, especially the brother that comes before me. Yeah, he's not in a great place. Like they really did a number on him, which is sad, but I mean,
so the best way to not pass trauma to our kids is by not bringing the kids into this world if you're still dealing with that trauma.
No, I feel like what I'm saying is, as for me, I have dealt with a lot in the 20-25 years that I've been alive. That's a lot, especially knowing that it's not just in the home. Hata nikitoka kwa nyumba hivi, I'm catching strays,
Yeah, true.
So that's a lot to process. So now you're telling me that now I have another child and now I have to school them on things that they may experience in this world. It's a lot. It's not something I want to go through. If other people can do that, power to them, but I'm just not the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have enough power and healing to heal myself.
Only.
Yeah. And maybe, of course, I talk about these things on TikTok, so I will give like tips on how to elevate from such situations in the best way that you can until you're completely out of that situation and you're independent. But otherwise...
So after you've had that, what pushed you to go online and start telling people I've had to be obligation, and if you want it, it's an option for you?
That's a great question, Nicole. I'm going to answer it. I was very excited, despite the fact that like I was nervous, especially because I don't like hospitals. I was very nervous. I went by myself. Like my hands were shaking. I won't lie. Like my hands were a bit shaky. My legs were shaking, but I tried to keep my composure. I have a very like sunny disposition in here. So yeah, I kept myself like lighthearted. And then the doctors again, they were amazing. So immediately, like after when I was leaving after my procedure, I remember I was so ecstatic. I was so happy. I was even like waving to the Maristop's doctors goodbye, like, bye. Thank you so much. You did such a great job. Like, wait, remind me the question again.
What made you get the courage ya kwenda online wanze kuambia watu have had tube ligation?
Yeah. Because I'm very confident in my choice. And that's just who I am as a person. So like me sharing that energy of being like, this can be, people think that because that's like a sad choice to take.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. I was so happy. I was so elated. Even the women who followed me, because I kept doing the Mary Stopes announcement.
Yeah.
And then I made an announcement, and then they went and got it. Like, I'd received so many messages from women being like, "Oh my God, girl, thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy.
So you
I'm
felt
so
like
glad."
you created
So I'm just
a social.
created a great community for these people. Plus, I review all my comments. So if I see like 1, 2, 3, because they're usually not many, it's just like 1 or 2 comments that are a bit like weird or negative, they won't make it to the public platform.
Oh, that's where I was going next. How do you deal with the negativity and the judgment that comes from our society?
Actually, I haven't, like, maybe just 1, 2, 3. That's it. But it's been very exciting. Like, very exciting. Like,
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, really? You're actually telling people you did it and you don't fear me? I mean, I hate criticism. I hate people judging me. So there are things I know I'll never post in public. But seeing you do it, I was like, I want to be like her. I want to go out and tell people this is my choice and I stand by my choice.
Because it is your choice. Like, for real, like, hii maisha ni yako. Unajua? Like, the life is your own. Take charge. If you know you want something from your heart, be serious about it. Take yourself seriously. Yeah, it's not a joke.
True.
Yeah. So,
I'm so happy that someone is actually... I wanted to get one, by the way, but I told you, niliendanga nikaambia, hujafika age limit. Yeah. So are there some requirements or like some things that... Umesema ulienda marriage stops. So let's talk about marriage stops because that's where you had your experience. That they require that maybe ukienda po kama demo utafeel like, that's not what I want.
Okay. I also did try to get it when I was 22 or 23, and they gave me the same thing that they usually say to women.
You're not 25.
No, actually, they said that you have to have 2 to 3 kids, and it needs to be signed by your husband. And I was like, Kenny, we are living in what time? What the fuck is that?
Wamekurudisha uko nyuma kwenye men have to decide what you have to do with
their body. I was like, that felt like weird to me. But I was just like, it's okay. Like, miaka zinaenda, I'll circle back later. And even that day that when I went to get the tubal ligation, at first I thought it was a Mary Stopes called Help Us Clinic on the way to Kahawa West. And even them, like... at first they thought that I was there to like remove a stranger from my belly, and then I was like, no, there's something going on. You see the poster? This is happening, blah blah. Where is this? So they were like, I have a young face. People think I'm like 22 or something.
True.
But they were like, how old are you? I'm like 27. Even them, they were like, aren't you too young? But I'm like, babe, hapa kwa chat si imeandikwa everybody has autonomy of choice. Ama nini, ama that's only restricted to, like, what are you saying? But I was like, babe, if it's not important, I wouldn't have woken up this early. So nionyeshe directions ndio nielekee mahali nafaa kuenda. People will always have opinions. You just have to stand your ground. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry to ask this. Are you dating?
No, I haven't dated in a long time. A lot of people are boring.
Is that why you're not dating? Because people are boring?
Yeah, I just haven't met someone as charismatic and unique as I am.
Oh, I wanted to know that because I wanted to know how has you having a tubal ligation affected your relationship with your nini, but kama udate ni sawa.
Okay, in the same way that, I have been telling my family for years that this is a procedure that I was going to get, is the same way that even when I was in relationships in university, this is something I always brought up to my boyfriends. Like, this is something I've always said all my life. Like,
Ujaambia boy hivyo akakujaji
no,
like
that's where I'm elekeari now. Because there's a boyfriend that I told, and they were actually shocked. They were like, really? Like, hautaki kupata watoto? And I'm like, yeah. And then I even told him that if me and him are going to be long term, then it's okay. He can go find a woman who can bear him his child, and I can just be the wife who never has kids and goes shopping and stuff. Yeah. But the other like maternal stuff, it's not in my place. Yeah, it's just not me.
Okay, that's a new way to say it. I just thought people like men judge you for those choices. That
Even
you
if
make,
they
because a
judge
lot of
me,
men-
I mean, like, I'm the star. I'm supreme. Like, why would their words like stare me down? Like, I know what tube ligation and child-free life can do for me. Like the freedom it brings, the financial stability that it brings, because I'm not out here paying fees for some kid.
Okay.
You know, I'm not out here shopping groceries for a whole family of 5. You understand? Like, I'm saving money. You understand?
Yeah,
Money
ni
that I'm
mjukuu
going
kwa
to spend
damu.
on me.
Eh.
And me, I love money, bro. Like, and I love spending it on me. So why not make it a life commitment? Yeah, me all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hata swali limepotea. I wanted to ask about the long-term effects of tube ligation.
Okay.
Do you get your periods? Do you still get the painful cramps?
Okay, you still get your periods.
How the tubes zimetaiwa zinapitia wapi? Like, that is one of the if I want to get one, but one of the reasons I want to get one is because I want to avoid that monthly painful experience. You still get your periods?
Yes, you still get it as normal. However, actually the first period that I got after my tube ligation process, it was a bit more painful than usual. Just a bit. You remember I said a bit? Yeah.
Uchungu ni
It was a
uchungu.
bit. But okay, me, I'm the type of girl who sometimes, like, ikifika pain for cramps, sometimes I just ride it out because I don't like medication. Because sometimes I notice that if I take medication a lot on my period, chungu inaongezeka, and then you have to keep continuing the cycle, you know. But I did take medication. It was fine. The next period was fine. And then I feel like the only thing that I've experienced that was a bit like worth mentioning was, I think there was a month that I had, okay, my period came for like 4 days, and then ikaacha for like another 4 days, and then ikarudi tena for another, like, let me see from my calendar.
You're even checking to
like,
confirm.
what?
Did you go and
Yeah. It came, oh no, it was like 1, 2, 3. 8. So I had my period for 8 days. It stopped for 4 days, and then it came back again for 5 days, and then ikacha.
That's almost half a month.
That's the only time that I was like, okay, should I call a doctor or something? But after that, like, it's been fine. Yeah. But I feel like I've also experienced something like that because of taking contraceptives.
After tube ligation, you're still taking contraceptives?
No, like way before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, body inakuwa affected size.
No, it was just that one time. Like, I remember I think I took like it's called an after pill.
The emergency pill.
Yeah, emergency pill. And like my period came for a whole month, bro. A whole month.
Yeah, those are the things that people should have choices for.
I'm just a girl. Yeah, but that was the only time it was like crazy like that.
Okay. So umepea madam choice ya hiyo tube ligation, and you've told people it's okay as a woman to be child free.
Yeah, because like I feel like okay, in my opinion, I feel like
Utaki watu wakukujie.
No, listen. In my opinion, I feel like the whole storyline of you're a woman, you get married, you have kids. That's a played out storyline. We already know how it ends.
Yeah, true.
You know, either in the especially in the bad ways. Juu hizo ndio mingi. Si unajua? We already know how that storyline goes. It's played out. Why wouldn't you think, especially as women, because we are co-creators with God, guys, why wouldn't you think that your identity will and your life will show you like much more magic than you imagined if you just focused on what's within? You know, it's not a bad thing. I feel like the world will open up much more if you explored your identity to the fullest. Because I feel like men get to do that, you know, they don't get to stay in the kitchen. Okay, most of them. They don't get to like, you know, they go to work, they earn their bag. You know, those who are still in touch with their minds and their hearts, they have hobbies, you know, that they can do. But sometimes for women, when you have kids, it really cuts back on your identity and like really indulging in the things that your heart really yearns for. Yeah.
Okay.
So me, that's I feel like that's my purpose. Like to continue exploring the skills that I can cultivate, you know, the talents I can cultivate, like even the fact that I'm a woman and like we can play with our hair, we can play with makeup, we can play with clothes and shoes, like that's more fun than bringing up a child. I'm not sorry.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So, did you have to pay for the procedure?
No, it was completely free.
Marriage stops does divulgation free.
Yes. In the outreach centers.
How do you know about Nonanga ukipost by the house? So ask you, where do you get those posters from?
On the Marry Stop pages, but it always feels like unajua like in high school when mnaitwa dorms usiku ndio mnaitwa usiku ndio mpewa leakage. That's kind of how like I feel they post, because they'll post like hours before the following day ndio wanafanya divulgation. So wanaipost like the day before ama 3 days before, because it's usually like for 2 dates, either the following day image, they'll post the day before and then there'll be another one within the span of the 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I just took it upon myself to share the posters, because I feel like it doesn't get as much traction as it should.
I actually thought you worked for Marriage Stop. Sorry to say.
I don't.
Shinango kizipost. I was actually to ask you, do you work at Marriage Stop?
That's why I'm saying, because like I've told you, I was out there like saying goodbyes to the doctors.
Yeah,
because I was so excited.
You feel like they did you a very great service.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my God, what a time to be alive.
And it's free.
You know, and it's free. They won't ask you for anything. At a bob. Like it's completely free for real. Yeah.
But it's permanent.
Yes, it's permanent.
So utaipata mtoi?
Ever.
Not you personally. I'm saying for people who have tubulation. Unajua unaweza pata tubulation and then maybe years later you're like, oh my God, I want to have kids. And I didn't have like my eggs harvested or something like that.
And let me be very clear. The tube ligation that Marry Stops conducts, it is not reversible. It is not reversible.
That's a really tough something to think about, because
I mean, it's not that tough when you look at the world that we are living in.
It is, because personally I'm a mom and I love my kid. He's 5 years old. But I don't want to have any other kids. It's okay, don't worry. Why are you surprised?
I'm surprised.
I've always wanted to have that one kid, and I have that one kid. But now that I know that, and me personally, I've had issues with my body, with family planning, so I don't use it. You just manga.
You pray for God.
Pull and pray. Sorry, if anyone uses that method. But now I've gotten to that point where I know in life I don't want any other kids. I want to raise this kid as my own, you know.
Yeah.
But then pia niko na ile tamaa, what if my kids get old and I start getting the empty nest syndrome, where my kid is grown? Because kids grow up so fast. Kwanza boys. So it gets to that point and I'm like, I want to have another kid, but I already had a tubal ligation. Do I have options? Ama wezi jibu hiyo?
Yes, wezi jibu aki. But I just feel like it will be best to more center on Like, even if I feel like it's normal for you to experience like emptiness.
Empty nest, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. It's a human thing to feel. However, I feel like it will be the perfect opportunity to dive back into yourself, you know? Because I feel like as no matter what age we are, because even me right now, I'm 27, I still talk to myself like I'm a little girl. Whatever I need, I can give myself, you know? And the way I do that, it feels exactly like reparenting a small child. That's how I am rewiring my brain, you know? Because I've been through a lot. But h- how I like bring the light back in is to constantly remind myself of the things that bring me joy, of the things that make me happy, of things that I'm just so passionate about. And yeah, like, and more beautiful things can flourish from that, not just, you know, having another child. You know, more beauty can come from creation in other things. Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's also like I'm talking as a parent from my point of view. It's also kind of sad.
Yeah,
But I want to do
see,
it. I've always like even before when I went to check for the procedure, I was not even 20 years old. I was not even pregnant. I was very young, but I knew that is what I wanted. But also in the back of my brain, I also knew I wanted this one kid, like just someone there who will always be like, "That's my kid. That's what I've created."
Yeah.
And now I can move on with my life. I can focus on me because I've given the world something that I want to carry on my legacy and all that. And then I look back right now and I'm like, if I had a obligation back then, would I have regretted it? Utafakangi mahali unapita hizo like just flashbacks of regrets.
No. No.
You have
Like,
a better conscience
I've
than
always
mine.
been I've always been like a jolly, excited person, especially within. So the most excited thing the most thing like I'm excited about is just like wow, like the future is so bright, like I can't wait to go to all these places and do all these
Rich
things
auntie.
and meet all these people. And even like I have a niece, I love her so much. and and like I'm just like I want to give her everything that she ever needs, you know. I believe that she should have a car at 18, so I'm working hard that she gets the car at 18.
I wish I was
You understand?
niece.
I just feel, especially like African children, I feel like a
We are
lot of us,
so behind in so many things.
yeah, a lot of us, we've been treated very poorly by society and even at home and even by our extended families. So I feel like I just see that and I've seen that and I'm just like, I just want to give her the softest life that she can experience because it's hard out here, you know? Yeah, and everybody deserves like a life that flows with ease and flows with lots of love. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it is important.
Yeah.
But looking at it from your point of view is a little bit different. Because I have had male friends who are like, me, I want to be child free. But that in society is not taken like a curse or something else.
Yeah, I actually have a friend, okay, an acquaintance. I just met, okay, I didn't meet him yet, but online, you know. And I haven't met child-free men ever
I
until
have.
recently.
I have.
And it was very like wild to hear about his story because he's like, his parents are okay with it. You know, they go to church, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, really? Like, that's new.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm like, so it should be like, if you feel like that's where your excitement and your passion comes from, then that's good.
But you know, African societies grow very slowly. There's a pattern in other countries outside the world. It's okay to be child free as a woman, as a man. But when you come to Africa, it's really taken as a different perspective because like I've said, I have a male friend of mine who is child free, but he's always telling me about how his parents are always pressuring him to get married. But him anasemanga mimi naweza kuwa child free. And I also don't want to get married. So I'm child free and marriage free. But the society will always pressure me and be like, when are you going to get married? You're getting old.
I feel like the work that I do, that's what I love about it, like to radicalize people. And even when people like, even at home, when people try to pressure you about having a kid or having a family. Especially when they know that you still haven't met the love of your life. Yani the love of your life who will defend you even against them. You know? Then it's just, at that point, I usually feel like now you're just saying the most unhinged things so that now let me show you I can also say the most unhinged things. Because there's this like TikTok I posted of a screenshot. A screenshot from my family group.
You posted it on
TikTok, yes, of me talking to my dad in the family group. And I literally said, let me open it up. I said, don't worry, I'm going to get a hysterectomy. Because, he was like, when are you, I think he said, like, when am I getting married or, like, having a boyfriend or having a child or something. And I was like, yeah, a child. And I was like, like, it's not going to happen. And then he was like, what about getting married? And I was like, don't worry, I'll be married with a hysterectomy. And then he was like, and he's a doctor, he knows what it means, So he was like, Ati, a hysterectomy, a bad joke. So who is going to, Ati, what's the need of riches if you don't have dependents? And I was like, to enjoy a lot of my money. Exactly, case closed. And then I posted my birthday cake and was like, happy birthday to me. Like, women, you should be bold. You should, the same way, like, your family has the guts to, like, ask you stupid questions that are not aligning with where you want to go with your life. Be bold about the answers that you give them. Yeah, juini maisha yako. And you take it seriously. So if they're not seeing that, then...
the fact that your parents are okay with it now, a lot of African parents, I'm sorry to say this, they when you make a decision, they tend to kukalisha chini, unaitiwa the whole family, the extended family, to sit down and talk about the decisions that you're making. Haukufanyiwa hivyo when you told them about, ama ulifanya production ndio ukawaambia?
No, I've always spoke about it.
Even in extended family situations?
No, I'm not close with my extended family because they're not people I want to get to know. However, this is something I've always mentioned. And they just didn't think that I was being serious. So I just went ahead and did the procedure. And after that, I didn't say anything else. I didn't confirm that, oh, look, I did the procedure. I never confirmed anything because my family is the type to not take my word seriously. They're not people I'd like to keep continuous having conversations with. Understand? So yeah, I'm just enjoying this life change on my own and to the people that I spread the word to on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about altar. Do you go to church?
No, I don't. I've never felt connected to the church for a long time. I only used to go because of the music.
Explain. How do you go to church because of music? Okay, gosho.
Yeah, like the singing, especially if they do it with a band and they do it well. That's just what I liked about it. The rest...
So are you Christian or an atheist?
No, I practice African spirituality. Altar work.
Explain. Kindly.
Altar work is like venerating your ancestors, your loving ancestors. Keyword loving. Yeah.
How do you venerate?
And people in your lineage who have passed away. Yeah.
How do you do that?
You leave them offerings on the altar that you've created, the things that they love to eat. You leave them water, you leave them liquor. You ask for the things that you want them to intercede in. Yeah.
How do you know when they're interceding?
Okay, first it has to be... Okay, I think I started practicing like 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And... it was just me just giving offerings, like maybe a cup of water.
So umetengeneza altar kwako kwa nyumba?
Yeah, at the window.
How does the altar look like?
It's just a normal...
Can you explain it?
Okay, it's just a normal like mali window iko. And then sasa, of course I burn candles on there. So there are maybe candles there to be charged by the energy of my loving ancestors. so that when I light it and I talk to the candle, I don't know if this is the right?
It's okay. Go on. I'm listening.
Okay. And then you leave them water because, of course, they're thirsty. They need something to drink. You can also leave coffee. Coffee is for like if you want something to come in fast. Like maybe you've asked for something na unataka ikuje haraka. Unawacha kahawa hapo. And then you can also leave tea because I grew up in
Nyeri.
Yeah, okay. A lot of my like guka and my grandma, they had tea plantations. So like we're obsessed with tea. So you give them what they like. You give them bananas. Me personally, I don't eat bananas. So I just leave bananas there. And I say, I hope my loving ancestors accept this offering. You enjoy. And then what else is on there? Oh, now things that I'm asking for. Like, for example, there are this, you see those Christmas decorations?
The ones that are put on Christmas trees.
The round ones? Yeah, so I put them there because I feel like, again, being in a dysfunctional family, we don't celebrate Christmases. Niliacha kuenda, like, because I'm scared, because being at home means I'm unsafe, and Christmas is a festive season that I fully want to indulge in. Like, it has lots of fun, and that's something that I want to experience more of, I just need to find myself in spaces where that can happen more easily. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so if you leave them the offerings, so bananas zikika sana huwa zinaharibika. Do you remove them afterwards?
They tell you when to remove.
How?
In your head. We are electromagnetic beings, Nicole. You'll feel the urge of intuition.
Let's go back. After they tell you to remove the bananas.
Yeah, and they tell you how to dispose of it.
Or you just don't throw them in the dustbin?
No.
How do you dispose of it? Ama itakujanga na instructions?
No, you'll just be given instructions on how to do it when it's not needed on the altar anymore. You'd have to like truly practice the work.
How did you get into it? You said you got into it 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I not met, but like I interacted with some women who are into altar work and African spirituality. And they were just like me. Like they had psychic abilities that guided them. Mine were not as grounded as theirs were. And I felt like altar work was the next step for me to like really ground my abilities so that I could like hear them more loudly. Yeah.
Ujaambia na mtu ina sound kama uchawi? Sorry, I don't mean to sound judgmental. I'm just asking.
No, it's okay. Like it's expected. But like there's a reason people are leaving the church and going back to their roots,
So that is going back to your roots.
Yes.
How do your parents feel about that? Ama they don't know about it?
They were scared because I did like tell my mom that, her dead dad, my Guka, told me that he's disappointed in her. And she took me to the psych ward.
You told your mom? You literally told your mom you're talking to her dead dad?
Yeah, because she knows what she's been doing. It's not normal for me to see other children's parents treating them well and me, I'm being treated like shit.
She didn't take it as kama wewe kunitangwa.
She was actually scared that she was about to pass away soon.
You told her that?
No, I could tell from her body language that she was scared that what I meant was she's being called into the next life.
So when she took you to the psych ward, what happened?
I was very excited to spill the tea to the psych doctor. So I told them everything.
Let me go to therapy.
Shout out to Dr. Catherine. Love you so much.
Personal recommendation.
Yeah, so I was very excited to spill the tea to my psych doctor. And she got the full picture. I even explained like exactly how the way you are asking the question about intuition and receiving instructions.
Yeah, true.
I had written it all down in like the book that they gave me.
Yeah,
the
the
word.
journal they usually
And you
give.
know, even the doctors were seeing me in the room. All the time I was writing, all the time. Because before the therapy sessions, of course, umepewa like homework or something. So that the following day, maybe your parent is coming in and you need to talk about things. Yeah, so these are things I wrote down. I was like, when I mean this, like, for example, I remember there's a part that I had written. Now, after I told them even about the altar work, I said, I made an altar and I went and trauma dumped on the altar, telling them like everything they've done to me, blah, blah, blah. And after a while, like maybe like 8 months up, that's when now the clear audience was louder, you know. So I told them that before I could hear the hearing, it would be like I'd hear, okay, not here, but I don't know how to explain it exactly, but maybe it was raining outside and then I'd look at the umbrella, maybe like my umbrella was like maybe somewhere here at the table, and then the words would come to my head, we will storm the weather together. That's my ancestors letting me know, like, we hear you, we have heard your grievances and we are working on it. You just keep the faith, keep nurturing yourself, make sure you're looking good, smelling good, you're looking after yourself. But you're not alone in this situation just because you're in a dysfunctional family. I know it's hard, but this is something we are helping you with. So don't lose hope because we need you here. You're doing important work. You've done so good despite not having the support that you needed and that you require. But we are here to honor you. We are here to elevate you, and you matter. Yeah, those are not words I've heard from my living parents.
True.
Understand? So, like, I'm very confident in my psychic abilities. I know these are not things that a lot of people are keen to because here in this world, everybody thinks that maisha tu ni just go to work, maybe watch some movies. And then like maisha ni tu kazi until you're dead. No, like there's so much magic within us. If you just took the time to tap in, you'd recognize that it's there and you'd see how bright it is. But a lot of people are just running on the hamster wheel, just trying to get by, you know. So yeah.
So after SEQUAD, nini ilifanya uachiliwe?
See, now they just told, the doctor told them to apologize to me because, you know, how the way I felt was valid. And they said I was fine now. I don't know by what terms that means. But me, I was just ready to, like, go back home, continue with my life. Of course, there were standards that the doctor gave. That there are certain standards that my parents needed to
achieve ama
Yeah.
wakuweke in.
Ndio, like everything should be good. But of course, after a few weeks of doing what the doctor said, wakaachana nayo, because that's just how dysfunctional families are.
So do you still tell your parents what your ancestors tell you if it involves them?
The psychic gift skipped them for a reason.
Keeps them?
Skipped them for a reason. I don't need to give them more power than they need. If they think that I'm mentally ill or something, that's on them, you know. The gift skipped you for a reason. Maybe you're not meant to see the power. That's okay. I'm actually happy.
They skipped?
Yeah. Because they're not in tune with their minds and their hearts. Nobody who's in tune with their minds and their hearts does that to their children. You understand? Yeah.
You talk about them like they hurt you so much that
They did. And that's why I'm loud about it.
They have never apologized for it because you're so loud about it, you're so open about it. Usually ingefika tu point hata kama mzazi usikie too guilty, you come and apologize. They've never done that.
They just care about themselves. And their image. You know how African parents are with their image in society. You know. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little expecting about the altar work, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like, it's work that really should come from the heart. And yeah, like it's important work, and it's definitely like different, yes. But I mean, when we were reading about ilikuwa African traditional society in CRE and stuff, when they say that people had, like in African societies, we had seers and rainmakers.
True.
Does it say we had seers and rainmakers, but they were mentally ill? Do we say that?
No, we just say we had seers and rainmakers and white witches.
Exactly. So why is it different just because we're in the modern world?
Because a lot of people don't believe in the modern world.
That's on them. I believe in my power. And that's what matters most.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you know you had psychic abilities?
I've always known, like, since I was a child, that there was more to this world than the basic vitu zenye unaona hapa. Yeah, that's something I always had in me. So when I saw other women who truly, like, for real,
Ni wale like
like
true
for
believers.
real, unaona, like they do a reading on you. They don't even know you. You know, they don't know about your life, blah blah blah. Like it's not like your friends or anything. But if they give you a reading, it's to the point.
You do readings?
No, I don't. That's something I'm working towards, but I'm really saving up for like this tarot cards that I love from this woman called Exotic Cancer. She's from abroad. I want to get those cards first before like I start like learning, because like they're so like
You want to start doing tarot cards?
Yeah, but on a minimal level, not like on a large scale as they did, maybe just for like me and maybe a friend or two that interacts with me, because it's kind of fun. Like
Okay, me nikiangalia like on TikTok and I find those tarot cards, I'm usually like, I'm interested, but how do you know that?
It's okay. When you do the mental exercises to keep your intuition alive, that's just ni kama, it's just in the same way ati tunasemanga ati African mothers wakieka salt kwa food, hata kama wanapikia 1,000 people, wanajua their hand knows intuitively when to stop.
True.
It's just like that. Mental exercises. That's it.
That sounds interesting. Maybe I should start doing that. But you don't talk about altar work that much.
No, I don't. I used to talk about it because I do have another TikTok account. So I used to talk about it like in the other account. But I stopped using... Okay, I didn't... I just took a break from that account and started posting more on this other one. However, I did actually post about like how I felt spiritually the day before I got my tubal ligation.
I was going down to ask you, do your ancestors agree with you having a tubal ligation?
This is something actually I'd love to share.
You're welcome. Please share.
So the day before my tubal ligation, I'm going home from work, right? And I don't know why it is that every time like I'm in a car, like going home, sometimes like I can just feel so much energy. It's like it's when I'm on the road that I'm processing so much. So the day before my tubal ligation, I was seated at the window of the bus. And all of a sudden, I was so overwhelmed with these emotions. Like emotions of sadness, actually. Like emotions of sadness. Like I was crying. My face was... I don't even think I've ever experienced like my face moving the way it did when I was crying in the bus.
In the bus?
Yeah. And it wasn't like I was trying to hold it in because I'm not trying to disturb other people's peace. You know?
And then in the bus, everybody will be like...
Yeah. Like I even had like my face turned to the window because at first I was like, dang. And it didn't feel like it was me. It felt like it was my ancestors' cry. Because this is something I've also like talked to them on my altar about. And they've always been behind me. That they know, they understand, you know. They're like, we know you've gone through so much. And they tell me all the time, like, again, what a time to be alive. Yani mko na options kama hizi.
Si hatukuwa nazo.
Yeah, like, whoa, what a modern world. Them, they are like, whoa. But at the same time, even them, a little part of them wanted to, like, dang, like, they think I'd be a great mother, you know? And even me, a little part of me, like, a little bit wanted to be a girl mom. So I think it was like just both of those just like pouring out of me. I was crying. Oh my God. It's like I could feel the emotion on my face. It felt like, damn.
Something was washing out of you.
Yeah, like, whoa. I don't think I've ever experienced like tears like those. And then I was like, okay. And then, but in the following morning, as I said, like, even when I was walking in the rain, they were like, it's okay, you just keep going. Let's go to the hospital.
It was raining.
Yeah, it was raining. And even I barely had any money. Like I said, like I literally had to go into the supermarket and buy an umbrella with almost all of my last money. And then they were like, don't worry, we've got you. You just keep going. Go to the hospital. We've got you. Yeah, that's how it happened.
It's good to know you have a support system because a lot of people don't have that.
And that's why I say, like, tapping into your psychic abilities, because we are all capable of a great power. Whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not, it is there inside us, you know? So if you tap into your abilities, especially if you're, like, from an environment that knows... Unajua, me, I didn't grow up with what are they called? Someone to look up to. Like, I've always seen people around me who showed me why not to be that. Why not to do that.
Not why to be.
Why, yeah, you know. And that's really like, especially as a child growing up, that's devastating, you know. So when I tapped into my heart and into my mind and connected with the magic that is within my blood, like, I am unshakable. You understand? Like, I am confidently me. Because every day they remind me, you are that bitch. So, of course, I have every reason to be that bitch. So, yeah.
Okay. As we wrap up, someone who wants to go into altar work, what would you advise them? Someone who feels like, I've heard what she said and I want to try and learn more about it. What would you advise them?
I think the first most important thing is not all of your ancestors are loving. Okay? There are some who mean harm. There are some who are bad. There are some who labda unaweza kuwa uko na mashida kaa zangu. And then unasema, like, oh my God, I don't have a supportive family, blah, blah, blah. Na hata ancestors wako pia, walikuwa tu hivyo hivyo. Like, they didn't care about feeding their kids or making sure that they cared about the emotional health of their children. So, people are people. The same way that in this world, watu wako different. Hautaona ati ni wazuri wote. Na at the same time, si wabaya wote. So invoke your ancestors. Say, I invoke my ancestors who deal with justice. You know? Even if, okay, I'm a homosexual. I mean, I like all the flavors. Like, you know, it doesn't matter, like, what you have between your legs. If you're hot, you're hot. That's
true.
That's me. So, because I have some... I am working on some of my queerness. I usually invoke my ancestors who are gay at that time. And, of course, most of them were closeted. You know? So hizi ni vitu pia wanaweza nisaidia nazo. So you make sure that you're specific, you know. Light a white candle, that's for protection, you know. buy some rosemary. Rosemary bunch is like 30 bob, 10 bob. You can be like cleansing yourself. Ndio vitu zisikuwa touch na vitu zingine. And then another important thing ni tunasemanga cleanliness is next to godliness. That's so important. Just look at yourself, because that's also part of honoring yourself. Look good. Be kind to yourself in your mind, especially. I know it can be hard, especially kama ni watu wamepitia vitu mob. The psyche can really turn against you. But you can rework that. You can rewire that, and it can work to your benefit and even brighter than you imagine. So give yourself a chance. Like, you matter for real. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about tube ligation. Someone who wants to do it, like me, I'm considering it a lot. So what is your advice to me or anybody else there who feels like it's time for me to get that tube ligation, and I've done my research, I've done the pros and cons list? What is your advice to them?
If it's something that makes you happy, do it, girl. Do it. Like, can you even hear the way I'm saying it? Like, I'm excited. Like, this can be you. I'm just saying. Listen here. Pay attention in class. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you feel like you wanted to talk about but I have left out?
Yes, a lot of people usually want to see the scar.
You have a... Oh, unakuanga na scar kama ya
show it?
Una scar kama ya CS?
Yes. So, a lot of people ask about the scar for the tube ligation.
Is it big?
It's 4 centimeters long, but it reduces with time. There it is.
So it has been reducing?
Yeah. That's how it looks.
It's not bad.
Yeah, inaenda ikiingia like nani, inaenda ikifade. Plus these days, like, there are creams that you can apply to make it go away completely.
But I feel like
so that's what I'm planning on. But it's become very small, actually. I'm surprised. Yeah, that's how it looks, ladies. Don't be scared.
So ulikuwa na ile, okay, watu wakifanya CS kuna ile nini wanaekangwa hapa, like the bandage. Did you have it?
Yeah, because they had to
I know they
and then close it with a bandage. They told me to remove the bandage after 3 days.
So how do you shower?
I was dry cleaning. For 3 Yeah, for 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You just
you wash you
I had to be very cautious. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you feel I've left out?
Well, after the procedure, it might be hard to, like, okay, just a bit. It might be hard to, like, go on a boda because of the bumps on the road, you know,
Itafungua stitches.
You can feel the pain still. So going on a boda, like, if you're in a bus and you're on a rocky road, like, just brace yourself. You might walk like a grandma, like the first 2 days after the procedure.
Wait, does it feel like reliving my memories of giving birth?
For real, it was hard.
Because when you give birth, you also can't go on a boda because you're also stitched up. You also can't. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
That must have been.
It was painful. I remember I walked like a grandma for like 2 weeks. I still have back problems from then.
Serious?
Yeah. People don't realize this, but giving birth comes with a lot of emotional and physical burden. So for me, I still have pains from then. But in Zamgongo too.
So you get those, like, what do they call? Like, back straighteners.
But the pain is not in the back. It's huko chini hapa kwa spine. And unakujanga once in a while. It's not like it's consistent. But I've also had stories of people who gave birth through CS who have had worse complications than I have.
Damn, serious. No, these are the conversations that we need to keep on having, ladies, so that you can have a full picture, so that you can make an informed decision.
True.
Yeah. Because even me, like, me, I don't want that. I don't want to see, like for me, like I've always had a phobia of pregnancy. Like I don't want to see my
Wewe ndio
belly
mtu wa
big.
kwanza kuona phobia ya mimba.
I don't want to see my belly big. I don't want it to see expanding. I don't want to see anything moving inside me, like kicking and stuff. Like no. And like you've even seen like videos of there's this girl on TikTok called Zoomy, and then she posts like the girl with the list of like pregnancy.
The girl with the list. I have
Yeah.
heard of the girl with the list.
There's this video of ati the baby kicked so hard mbavu zikavunjika, and the baby is kicking from the inside, bro.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just rip that shit open and take it out. Hey, those are just not things that like.
But you know, a lot of people are just told, you know, being a mom is so good, but nobody tells you about the pregnancy journey.
Yeah.
Those 9 months are I'm not gonna lie, they're so draining physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst part of it. The 9 months are not the worst part of it. The giving birth is the people. I went for labor for 12 hours. The people who go for labor for days. Me, I labored for 12 hours. The people who labor more than that.
Wait.
A lot of people don't discuss that. People just told, I always tell people, being a mom is so cute because I have a little mini me. But I'll never tell you about the emotional, the physical, and the mental toll being a mom has taken on me.
12 hours. I'm so shocked.
That's even, utasikia mtu akamwambia mimi nililabored 3 days, a whole 3 days. And the only thing the doctor has come and do...
You're just like contracting for 3 days.
No, I remember when I started laboring, the doctor was like, just stand up, go take a walk. And I was in so much pain. You know, it's like cramps, but 30 times more pain than that.
Actually, that's another thing like I wanted to say. Like I've been to hospitals and I've seen how the doctors talk to the pregnant women when they're in pain. And it is not anything
even in pain
to laugh about. I would kill someone if I saw a doctor talk to me the way
not even in pain.
Mamas.
Not even in pain. I'm gonna tell you personal experience. When I went to the hospital, I gave birth to a nilikana ball for 2 weeks. So when I went to the hospital, the first hospital referred me to another hospital. And I remember when I got there, I got a male nurse, and they're supposed to do the VE, ile kupima kama umefunguka.
Okay.
And I remember this nurse came and alienda kuniguza kama mimi I'm feeling so much pain. And then that nurse had the audacity kuniambia ati vidole zangu 3 ni kubwa kuliko kitu yenye ilikuweka mimba.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
That's disgusting.
I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get over
disgusting.
It. They even get to a point where they tell you have to sign.
If you're her doctor and you're saying this, fuck you. I hope you're having a terrible life. Yeah.
They get to a point where, you know, when you're in maternity, they do the V's every day.
Damn.
I was in there for like a week. So every day asubuhi na jioni kwa daktari anakuja ama anakuja kukupima. And I remember it got to a point where I refused to have them done. And they were like, you have to sign a document so that we can transfer you to another hospital because you cannot stay with the patient who's not participating. And I was like, I'm going to sign it. Because you cannot tell me every day in the morning I wake up, kuna mtu ananirusha vidole. Jioni the same.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to sign it. Luckily, I gave birth.
Wait, that's a thing.
Like, yeah, ask anyone who has been to hospital more than 2 days. They wake up in the... Because I remember, they'll always be like, it's time for V's. Yeah. That is what people don't get. Like, when I hear someone be like, oh, I want to be a mom, I'm like, I cannot tell you about what I went through because the experiences are different. But 50% of my experience is something you'll have to go through.
That's crazy, man.
It is. And I'm great you don't have to go through that.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, I have been pregnant once, but it just felt like an alien was inside me and I wanted to like rip my stomach apart with my hands and just pull that shit out. It was not funny at all. I couldn't even enter in a car because I had morning sickness that lasts the whole day.
Oh my God.
I couldn't even even when I cracked a window, I still felt like
yeah. Inakujanga inafika hapa inarudi. That's the worst part.
And I was like, I remember I took like a mat on my way to go to the abortion clinic in Nairobi because I was in Nyeri. I was going to Nairobi. And I was
ulitoka Nyeri ukakuja abortion Nairobi?
Oh, shaisikia abortion clinic Nyeri. Nyeri is a very like conservative town. You know, okay. And I found out, like, I found out Leo in I think a day or 2. I was in that mat, like tunaenda kutoa hiyo kitu sai.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I couldn't even enjoy a car ride. A matatu car ride to the city, bro.
Ukuwe na fun.
No. I don't play those games. I really don't. Like, nah.
A lot of people don't know that, but that's a conversation that people are supposed to have about. Sit down and talk about the emotional, the physical, and the mental toll pregnancy has on women.
Yeah. Because even like cleaning my cat's poop, it was more pungent than usual. Like, I couldn't.
Asa naongeza.
Bro.
I'm sorry, trust, but if you gave birth to that baby in a more worse.
No, I would have killed that baby because it was from sexual assault. So I'm glad that
I'm sorry about that.
I made sure that it was dead.
I'm sorry about that. And April is actually sexual assault month.
Yes, it is actually.
It is actually. A lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about your experience?
No, I feel like I've talked about it a lot.
Mhm.
But if you are, I don't know why I'm saying it. Okay, I'm saying it smiling because I know the tip for all the SA survivors, like what you need. How I pulled myself out of like the pits of psychological trauma and like body trauma. Like finya gas kabisa in loving your body and loving yourself. That's when you need to pack her up kabisa. Especially women, like Nini, the mirror and lingerie is your friend. Like abuse that. Abuse that. If you are SA victim, I'm telling you, like that's the
key.
That's the key. Like that's the key for real. Like that's what
Kipende.
brought me into the light, back into the light. Like that's what made me like back to myself. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm so sexy. Like I used to dress up for drugs, like Banky. I used to wear corsets, thongs, and then just go into the bathroom, put on music, like my favorite music, and just dance and dance and dance and dance for hours.
Until you got out of it.
Yeah. And of course, like, trauma is stored in the hips, so make sure you're dancing. Yeah. Yeah, like shake that ass for real.
And I'm sorry to anyone who has gone through sexual assault.
Tough.
I hope you get better because it's a journey.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Anyway, that's it for today. Do you have something else?
No, thank you, Nicole. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. And I know today is your off day.
I know. But I had fun. I'm so glad I came. It's also nice to like, interact with people. Yeah, it's very important. So yeah.
So thank you so much for coming to our show. If anyone has questions, you can reach her on her social media platforms. She's very, very friendly. Because that's where I found her. But then I TikTok. I liked her page. We started talking. That's how she ended up here. So if you have any questions, please be up in the comment section. You can ask your questions, subscribe, and like our video. And see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.